Are you looking for a powerful way to get your message in front of a highly engaged audience? Hi, everybody. I'm Peter Stockdale with the Spin Market Report. Advertising on the Spin Market Podcast Network puts your business directly into the ears of our active listeners. Our podcasts have over 20,000 total streams in the last 12 months. That includes over 160,000 YouTube impressions and over 150,000 total views on YouTube combined. Whether you're promoting a product, service, or event, reach out to the Spin Market Podcast Network to find out how you can reach an actively engaged audience. So get heard today. Go to www.spinmarket.com to find out more information. Your business, your message, our platform.
It's the Spin Market Report. Here's your host, Peter Stockdale.
Hey, we are back. It's the Spin Market Report. Another Monday, Marketing Monday.
Marketing Monday.
Yes, I'm sitting here with Cheryl O'Hearn, and we got Kimberly Dooley with us.
Yes.
Kimberly, you work with Kemna Auto. What's your position at Kemna Auto?
I am the sales manager at Kemna Auto.
Nice. That's a good position to have.
Yeah.
So do you know a little bit about the dealership's history? Can you share a little bit about that, how it's changed over the years?
Yes, absolutely. So Kemna Auto is a third generation. So it all started in Bancroft, Iowa, with Joe and Doris Kemna. And then Ken Kemna, he did the Algona, which is Kerry Kemna, the owner here in Fort Dodge, currently his dad. And then Grandpa is the Joe and Doris. So it started with Joe and Doris and Bancroft, and then Ken Kemna. And now Kerry Kemna actually owns not only the Fort Dodge location, but the Algona location. So he owns both of them now. So
that's nice. One step at a time, working your way south.
That's right. Yeah, it's been 70 years next year they've been in business. And wow. Kerry has owned the Fort Dodge location for 18 years this year.
Wow. Sweet. Yeah. Eventually there'll be a Des Moines location, a Kansas City location, Houston. You never know.
You never know.
So what distinguishes Kemna Auto different from the other dealerships that are in town here? Because there are a few different dealerships, but I know that each one has kind of their own little niche.
Yeah.
So what makes Kemna Auto unique?
So Kemna is unique. I know that a lot of people, talk about how, we're all family owned and operated, which I know that's a big thing. But with working at Kemna Auto now for 6 years, family is a big thing to Kerry Kemna. And, he's a person who likes to strive on all of his product and his employees. So, the biggest thing with us is we are a family, and you'll know that if you step in the doors, you know that we're just a big family. As far as like the product piece of what distinguishes us is, Buick, if you haven't seen, Buick is, we're one out of like 16, Buick dealers now. And so they're closest Buick dealer to us is 62 miles. Ooh. And so it's been, it's a big thing to have Buick local for the luxury comfort brand. So, but, there's so many things that can distinguish us. But if you walk through our doors, you can definitely tell the difference from our dealership than most, is how I personally feel.
Yeah, we stopped in there to grab some stuff for a podcast last year.
That was for Frontier Days, because you sponsored...
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
She's down there.
Yeah.
Oh, she's down there.
Oh, Autocrux?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, we did.
Yeah, she hangs out with the Talk Fort Dodge podcast. Mm-hmm. She's a little decoration over in the corner for all time. That was fun.
That was a lot of fun. Yes.
It went really well, considering we only had a couple of days to even put it all together.
Yeah. Yeah. Kudos to you guys over there, because that, it was, like you said, it was a shotgun event. Mm-hmm. I mean, we were getting it all together, and you guys helped out quite a bit. So thank you guys.
Absolutely. Hey, that's what we're here for.
So you guys offer a range of services beyond just sales of vehicles, correct?
Yes.
All right. So what other kind of services do you offer? I did look them up online, but let's talk about
them. Yes. Okay. So as far as services, I'm going to start with we do Valvoline across the street. So Valvoline is going to be your oil changes, and we partner with them, as well as AutoSmart. So the buy here, we partner with them too. So it's kind of cool to be able to be close knit and be able to keep our community, able to work with two totally institutions that we are able to partner with, as well as a big one is commercial vehicles. So, commercial vehicles, a lot of people don't realize, but not only, we can service them. So selling is one thing, but, Kerry has really strived to make sure that we help the community so people aren't traveling an hour and a half or having to pay tow bills and things like that. So it's a big one. And then medium duties. So a lot of people don't know that, but medium duties, we have them. And, we are able to work with upfits across the street with highway and other things like that. So, we're an overall dealer that's able to help in so many different, I guess you can say, workforce, everything, just, whether it's a commercial or a personal or, upfits or your oil changes or your credit. There's just so many things that Carrie has strived to teach each and every one of us to go for. So it's been really cool to learn and go with.
Yeah, that was something that surprised me looking through your website. I saw you had some medium duty vehicles on there for, people that want to do, I don't want to say like heavy duty work, because it's not quite the big machineries, but it's everything is in the middle. It'll haul everything. It's bigger than trucks, bigger than vans.
Yes.
It's pretty cool.
It is really cool. We've been blessed to be able to have that. So
I remember seeing something online about an auto spa, and you guys have a detail service too. That you guys do detailing there as well. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, yes. We have a full detail. So we have a menu that essentially is going to represent whatever works best for you, your financial, and your vehicle, your life. I know that as a busy mom myself, my car is not perfect. So, there's sometimes where you just want that internal, the inside wash. You don't want the exterior or whatever it may be. But our detailers are amazing. If you could see the equipment that Carrie has invested for a safe, cleaning and what they use back there, it's awesome. And it's just so nice, to be able to walk back there and not just see them grabbing a shampooer and just soaking your car with water. That's not how an auto spa is supposed to be. You got to treat your cars like your kids. And I think that's what we really do at Kemna.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah. Shampooing is great. Don't get me wrong, for certain, circumstances, but there's so many things, and our detailers are so smart and they're so talented. And we are very lucky to have the ones that we do have. They don't get enough credit, I think, but if you saw the behind the scenes of how they make our cars look used and new, and also, like I said, customers coming off, the streets, it's a great thing to watch. Yeah.
Yeah, I never thought much about car detailing until I got it done once. And I was like, this thing's like better than it was new.
Yes.
Better than when I got it from a dealership, a different dealer. It was crazy. And the other thing was I didn't realize how crazy all the tools they have.
Yes.
A lot better than just a toothbrush and a Q-tip, which is all I got at my disposal. So.
Yeah, we don't use those. Just kidding.
What about customer feedback? I mean, your dealership does have some amenities in there. When I walked in there, it was like, you could just kind of like sit down and relax in your guys' little showroom. If you really, that's kind of the atmosphere I'm assuming you're going for. Can we talk about some of those amenities you guys have?
Yeah, just, when you walk in, we'll start with like the comfort side. You walk into the dealership and you'll always hear our front desk say, welcome to Kemna, do you want a water or a pop? And the going joke is, well, the third time's a charm. If you say no to one person, someone will finally get you a drink. Like, it's a charm. Awesome. Yeah. And then, we have comfortable seats and TVs and a kid playroom and cookies and coffee. And I mean, yes, there's vending machines, but, that's just for, if people get hungry. But we are the first to be like, do you guys need anything? And people bring their dogs in on leashes and they just become family. It's just different. It's just different.
Yeah, I wasn't even in there doing like car stuff. I was in there for work, and I think somebody offered me a coffee, and I was like, "This is awesome!" Just go across
They
town,
knew
what
he really likes. He loves his coffee.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, like the first 12 hours of the day, it's all coffee.
Hey, you know what? We have people that come in and they'll come straight to me and with their coffee mug. And they'll be like, hey, I'm like, oh, you want me to fill your coffee up just to come and talk?
Yeah.
And they maybe only buy every 6 years. Like, it's not about just buying a car sometimes, and we have people that come in all the time and we're like, oh, so-and-so is here. Make sure the coffee machine's ready. This is just who we are.
Yeah, it's a community and family.
That's
again.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what inspired you to pursue a career in the automotive industry? I mean, you said you were a sales manager, correct?
Yes.
All right. So how did you work your way up to that, or did you just jump in on that floor?
No,
or what
I don't know if Carrie would have trusted me to go straight into that. No, I'm just kidding. Inspired me to be in the car industry. That's a big thing. I think, as a young kid, you always dream of what you're going to do. And the one thing I can say is if you know me in this community, which I'm not from here, but if you know me as a person, I love people. And growing up around cars my whole life, I was never one to know a lot about it, but I actually loved numbers. So I was a finance manager first. So I came in, my background was banking, and met with Carrie Kemna, and then I was hired like on the spot. And I loved finance. And then one day he just approached me and asked if I wanted to be a manager. And honestly, I was nervous. But I will tell you, it is probably the biggest and most rewarding thing is to work with the public and to lead a team. It's not even about me. It's about like how do you make other people feel? Do things run accurately? Are your customers happy? And am I leading by example? And that's a big thing that Carrie even talks about in himself, and anybody can be a leader, anybody can be a manager, but do you truly follow the guidelines to that? Do you take the correct steps to be it? And it takes a long time. In my personal opinion, nobody can just step into a role and be perfect at it, Yeah. And so it took a lot of growth. So it inspired me. I would say I always have had a very confident personality, but it took me to be led to know that I could do it by my upper, like Carrie and my managers, to tell me, Kimmy, you can do this.
Well, I think also coming into it and not necessarily just starting in the sales position, but the finance position, that type of thing, that gives you a much more well-rounded idea of how to handle the clients or the customers that are coming in, as well as the things that they're going to ask.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I can tell you anything about a bank, but you ask me what trailering package, hitch, convenient packages on a 2500 heavy duty. And when I was in the finance office, I'd be like, I don't know. So it's just, you learn and you grow, but you have to be willing to learn and grow. So.
Yeah. I mean, that's a really good point. I mean, you get the background, you get the downstream, you already have all the downstream stuff learned and you just go upstream and work your way up to it. So, so what does a day, like a typical day look like for you?
Yeah. So every morning, we have a meeting every single day. I have a meeting with my team, and, we, as a leader, you always find what things, maybe your team is lacking on, or maybe you're lacking on. And we always focus on a growth point. And then, it just comes into, is my lot prepared? Do our cars look perfect? And perfect's a big word, but, are they ready to be shown? Are we knowledgeable about what we have come in? Do we know the appointment's name basis? Do I know when so-and-so is going to walk in, and do I know what kind of drink they want? Do I know exactly what they're looking for? Is their car pulled up into VIP parking? Is it pulled up accurately? Is it washed? That's a day-to-day basis for us. I can sell anybody a car if they want a car, but in reality, it's not about selling a car. And if that's with anything, that's wherever you go in life. And so I think that's my biggest thing every single day is we strive for the community. And that's a big point. We talk about hospitality is so big. And so I can sit here and talk about selling a car. We have the best brands like everyone says, but that's just not what it's about. And as me as a leader and a manager.
I mean, you brought up a good point. I didn't even think about it. If somebody's coming in to buy a car, it's not like you really have a whole lot of work to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like if somebody comes into a restaurant to get food. I mean, you know what they're there for. They're there to get food.
Yeah.
So it's
what do they want? It's the hospitality.
Yeah.
Did you understand the why behind what they wanted? I can tell you all day, I want a hamburger. I want this, but did I really? You don't know, What's the why behind it?
Yeah, I mean, especially if everywhere has hamburgers, you're going to go to the place you want to go to.
Yeah.
But you bring up a really good point, and we emphasize this with our clients all the time too. We can bring them to the door.
Yeah.
But it's what you do after they walk through that door that makes the sale eventually.
Absolutely.
And that hospitality and making them feel wanted and addressing their why.
Yeah.
They may not even know their why, but you ask the right questions
to
figure out what their why is.
Yeah. And the communication piece is huge too. I can think that you like everything I show you, but unless I say to you, hey, people are going to shop around, and, I can't win somebody if I don't know what's in their head. So if, communication's big, so every day of my life is different.
That's awesome.
I talk to different people every day. So my life, I wake up every morning knowing that I think I know what I want to do, but it's a challenge.
Yeah.
And I am a very competitive person.
You kind of mentioned a little bit about it before, but what aspects of your job do you find the most rewarding for you personally?
The people. So the community involvement, the customers, and it sounds crazy, but seriously, I love people. Like I could sit there and learn a whole life story within seconds, I feel like some days. So, it's rewarding to obviously see my team grow and to see things happen. That's a normal reward. That's normal. You should be rewarded by, growing up on the ladder and moving up and getting the promotions and doing all these things. But the true reward in anything of an outlook for me as a person, again, in my job, is the people. Did I impact them enough to know that they want to come back? Did I impact them enough to know that they made the right choice?
Do you have any memorable moments or stories about any of this? Or
so many. I have had so many. There's, when people come in and, no matter their age, I'll start with, a young person as an example. You have somebody in their mid-20s, never bought a car, and mom and dad aren't around. I put myself in their shoes. I've been you. I get it, and so, oh my gosh, I could go. I mean, there's so many stories. I think my favorite ones are when people come in and they're nervous. They're nervous because, their kids are grown up, and what if they feel like they're getting a bad deal or somebody's trying to lie to them. And I get a lot of those. And I think that's just, I live 6 hours from my parents who are also in their 70, in the 70s. And so, yes, I know our parents are very intelligent, but at the same time, giving your customers an ease of knowing it's okay. I will talk to your kids. I get it. I have parents. I understand. So, you could go on for memories. People make me smile, laugh, and hug. I get hugs all the time. Hugs are my favorite. People have cried in my arms. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's great customer service is all that really is, honestly. The fact that you're willing to go out of your way, like you said, to put them at ease, to talk to their parents, or, you could flip-flop it, or you could talk to the kids, and it's beautiful, honestly. Yeah. So I had skipped a little bit ahead of here. There was a question earlier about, the dealership's commitment to Fort Dodge. Kemna Auto, how do you guys engage with the community? I'm sure you guys have plenty of community events, but beyond just regular business operations, how do you do that?
We connect and support local and public. So, as far as schools and businesses, and even, we do benefits, if little kids are sick. We just did one for one that brought tears to all of our eyes. I mean, biggest one, if you've ever seen the Tree of Hope. Have you guys ever heard of the Tree of Hope?
No, I haven't.
Okay. So Carrie, years ago, was brought to his attention that kids are without Christmas. And this last year, he paid for over 400 families to have Christmas.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's, people don't hear about it, but, back in the day, you had like the like little things, the tags on the trees, you'd go pick it out and whatever. Nope. It comes completely out of Carrie's pocket. And so we had over 400 families. We bagged shoes, clothes, toys, hats, gloves, underwear, socks, coat, all of it.
Oh, wow.
Yep. So every child gets it, and all of us employees. So bag it up, and we have a shopping thing upstairs, and we work on the weekends, we work nights, we just do it. So yeah, there's in teenagers, gift cards. He does this 12 days of Christmas thing, and he gives families groceries. So yeah, we do more than just donations.
That's one of the wonderful things about bringing in businesses here, to find out what they actually are doing in the community, because some of those things I didn't know. Yeah. I hadn't heard before. Yeah. And we want to make sure that everybody understands that there are businesses here that really support our community. And you're a perfect example.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had mentioned not just, giving out donations, but I don't think we should undersell the fact that you guys do give out those donations.
Yes.
You sponsor a lot of events in Fort Dodge.
Yes.
I have seen your name on the bottom of a lot of flyers. We do. I mean, Downtown Country Jam. I mean, everything. I've seen it on everything. So, it seems like just about anything that's going on in Fort Dodge, if they're looking for somebody to pitch some money at it to help out, you guys are always more than willing to throw your names in the hat. Definitely.
Yeah. And I think the biggest thing is kids. Carrie has 3 daughters of his own, and, the success of the children nowadays is so big. It's so important. It's totally different than when we were kids. And, these kids and the involvement that we have with, like I said, public or private, it's so fun. It is so fun. And when you get a young kid that walks into Kemna asking for a donation for their school, it probably melts more of our hearts than anything, because you can see that they're trying to succeed. It's just really cool. It's just cool.
Yeah, it's like that door-to-door candy salesman, but they're coming into your job.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes.
So you guys are a family-owned business. Do you think that nature of you guys being a family-owned business influences your approach to, customer service, community involvement, things like that? I know we kind of talked about it a little bit earlier, but
yeah, it does. I mean, I think that when you hire for a business, you understand that's like the first thing, you talk about is the family involvement. But we're all hands on deck, and I think that's a big thing for us, with any event or thing we have at the dealership or us going elsewhere, whatever it may be. It's fun. We have fun with it. If you would have seen us just, setting up for Easter, it was so fun. It was literally just a backdrop and decorations, but we laugh the whole time we're doing it. We don't have a marketer. We're a team. So whether you're a manager or you're a salesperson or you're a secretary, or your job is important. So it's fun.
Yeah, it sounds like everybody's kind of the face of the company.
Everybody. Yep.
So the automotive industry rapidly changing. I mean, I just think about like my first car until now, what cars look like. I got in an electric vehicle recently and drove that, and I was blown away by driving an electric vehicle. I mean, I never thought I'd say it, but at the same time, it's wild. It's wild how everything's evolving and changing. So how do you guys stay up to times, up to date with everything, all these changes? I'm assuming you have electric vehicles available?
Yes,
nice.
we do.
So what other things are you guys changing along with the times here?
So there's a lot that you change. First, I'm going to start off with 10% of our employees currently are driving electric.
Cool.
Yeah. So you don't really see that. It's probably the coolest thing ever. And it's been really fun to learn. It's easy just to be like, I work at a car dealership, I have to drive EV. In this case, nearly all chose to. And actually, only one person is a salesperson. We have a grade A tech that drives only electric. We have obviously the owner, and he wanted to learn. That's what he did. And then my finance manager, who lives 45 minutes from work. So it's not like she just commutes. She actually puts the time in. But we have anywhere from forklifts to the lifts that you have to put in there. We have charging stations. We are 100%, ready for it. We, Carrie put in the charging stations immediately, to help out that community and stuff, as well as our own Hy-Vee has, the charging stations. And if you don't know a lot about electric, your vehicle pretty much tells you when you need a charge. So you have maps, you have apps, and essentially, if you're driving to Iowa City, it'll tell you when you need to stop, or when you get there, where you should, charge. And there's fast chargers, there's slow charge. There's so many different things that you get to learn about. It's really cool.
Yeah, I did want to say, I was cruising through your website, and I think you guys have some an electronic car mechanic certified, like one of the best in the nation there, if I recall correctly.
Yes. Yep. We do. We have, he's a great tech, and they all learn. They all go, you go to trainings, you learn, and Yeah,
I don't want to speak out of pocket, but something on there was like the 16th best in the nation or something. Like, it was something like that.
Yes. And I don't know if I can name drop his name, but I mean, there's a couple of them that are they're learning. You start with one, kind of like you learn with one person, everyone will get to know it. But and he's worked for Kemna for a long time. That
is super cool to have that right here, in our neck of the woods. It's really kind of sweet. So if you guys are like worried, electric car, like, well, don't worry, there's somebody here that can fix it if anything ever goes wrong. Electric cars, if you've never been in one, you never test drove one or tried one, I'd highly suggest it. Find one of your friends that has one, drive it around. Swing by Kemna, say, what do you got for electric cars? Because they're really, honestly, it's not like I was going to turn my nose up at them, but they're just new, so I didn't know what to think about it. And then you start driving, and you're like, these are actually really great.
Yes. I always tell people, if you can do one electric vehicle per household, it's, that's a good way to go. I don't have one. My husband and I have talked many times, like, he drives a couple miles a day. He probably puts 30,000 miles in 6 years in his car. Well, again, the lady that I work with, she has saved over $250 a month in gas.
Oh, wow.
Yep. And she lives 45 minutes from work. And the owner lives an hour.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then my GM lives an hour. My technician used to live 30 minutes, but now he's closer to town. But and then my other sales professional lives 30 minutes away too. So only one person in town now. They all lived at least 30 miles or farther away, and they all bought electric. So so we've actually been blessed to learn and know about those. And so,
I mean, you guys are going through all the trial and error yourselves too. So you know exactly firsthand what they can and cannot do. And the best, you live an hour away, doesn't matter. You swing into town, and you guys said you have chargers there.
Well, so he installed a charger across the street by Graham Collision that you can use. So there's one handy for, there's like you put payment and app and all that stuff. But to charge your vehicle is so cheap.
Yeah.
So cheap. It's just kind of funny, but it's kind of cool.
One of the other things I had in here for the evolving industry is digital sales platforms. Is that something you guys offer there? Any sort of like digital sales? I'm assuming maybe, but like you can go online and buy anything now. Can you go online and buy a car?
Yeah, you can.
What?
Essentially, there's so many roundabout ways. Essentially somebody can say, I want to buy it. You can't like push a buy button and then poof, it's at your door. Like there's still paperwork and conversation and communication and transport time. And there's, it's easy to say, yes, just, click a button, but we're still going to do that old fashioned, make a phone call. And mainly because, you don't want to ever feel like you're not personable.
Yeah.
I think that the digital side goes away from that, I still want to teach my children and my employees and myself how important hospitality and communication is. It doesn't matter. And maybe some people are just super busy. There are people that are so busy and they'll say email is preferred. And we get all the documentation. It's super quick, simple, easy, transportation, poof, gun. But most people, like we actually just did one last week, and the gentleman was so kind and thankful and glad that we talked to him. He's like, I didn't expect this. Last one I did, they didn't even care to talk to me. So sometimes I feel like that's a good thing that we do that. And other times I'm like, okay, maybe he'll come back now. He was so appalled that we even cared about him. So I don't know. That's a hard question to answer.
It is, but you brought up a really good point because I never thought about it. If I'm buying like a book or something, like I get it, click, done. But like if you're going to make a big purchase, it might be nice to talk to somebody,
right?
Yes, and maybe somebody's more experienced. This is their 50th car they've bought, and they're like, I don't need to talk to somebody. So that might be a little bit of a different situation there, or maybe they're buying a car for a fleet of cars they have for their business or something. Might not be as they don't need the personable touch that you guys would offer there, but you still offer it. Like you said, you're going to be amenable to the customer if they're busy. Email, instead of calling them. So. Yeah. That's really great. I saw that somewhere online. I was like, I gotta ask about this.
Yes.
Challenges and opportunities. What challenges and opportunities do you see in the future for your dealership?
Well, there's always tariff talk. Let's be honest. But beside that, a challenge is everything that everyone is expecting. And that's. There's nothing, every day things change, and Carrie Kemna is 100% all in when it comes to anything with, whether it's electronics or it's, an up change, we're changing something in service or sales or a different type of buying, whatever it may be. I don't see a lot of challenges as of right now. We take every day serious, as well as we just strive to be what we can be. So that's a loaded question because I look at everything in a positive standpoint, and I take the negatives, face on. So I don't see any challenges unless you want to talk, tariff talk, but that's the only challenge I see.
Yeah, it sounds like the only challenges you guys face there are like industry challenges.
I guess you could say, yeah.
So it makes me think of about 5 years ago, they were having troubles getting chips for certain vehicles, and that was
unexpected.
But everyone had to deal with
Everybody,
that. Every dealership was missing trucks. It was like, I think it was trucks. And we were in Ankeny for something recently. We saw all the trucks there. It's like, well, at least this dealership's got a pile of trucks back. So truck sales are back. So if you guys are looking for a truck, hit up Kemna.
Yes. Trucks are fun. They're really fun to build too. So
oh, really?
I love sitting with my general manager and picking colors for cars and building them. Yeah. It's really fun. So.
Oh yeah, because you can choose the packages and like what's in there and what's not in there. Especially if it's new, you could almost order one.
Yeah, yeah, it's fun.
You can build your dream vehicle
that I won't even get to buy.
Yeah,
I do recall somebody online was doing that recently, and I was like, this is pretty cool. I didn't know you could just go on certain websites and just be like, I'm looking for one of these, and it has to have this.
Add it.
And that's something I'm sure you guys could even, let's say it's last year's model and they're looking for something specific. You could probably track one down if needed,
Yeah. It all just kind of depends if it's, a year before model and they're all sold out. There's so many things. Yeah, we can look for cars. I tell people when they come in and let's say they love a car we have, but it's not the right color or a package, I'll shop for you.
Oh, cool.
So I like to shop for people.
That's fun. You don't even have to do the work anymore.
No, I can just shop.
That's fun. So do you have a favorite vehicle, color, make, model?
Oh,
you said you don't. Oh, you do. Let's hear this. All right.
So my favorite vehicle. So there's two different things I'm going to say here. One, I did just buy my absolute favorite vehicle. I bought a 2025 Buick Enclave. So ultimately, my kids are in sports, soccer, softball, volleyball, and I obviously cannot afford a $100,000 Yukon XL, but if you are looking for luxury, comfort, and anything like that, I am a Buick girl through and through. So the going joke is, if you're here to buy a Buick, Kimmy will hunt you out. Like, that is my life. Nope. So I yes, Buick Enclaves are an absolute favorite. I can haul all of our softball stuff, from chairs to wagons. My husband and I, we do it every other weekend. So, but we have 2 daughters and a lot of activities, and my Buick Enclave does amazing. Oh. So if I could say anything, it would be a Buick. Obviously, if I had all the money in the world, I would go for a Denali or a Denali Ultimate, or even, the Tahoe's Yukon Suburbans, whatever it may be. So those are obviously very nice vehicles and so well built. But nope, Buick.
I always think Buicks are undersold when it comes to luxury. Yep. I mean, like, I was always a Buick person, and the only reason I'm not driving one now is because I got a good deal on the car I'm driving. That's the only reason I don't have a Buick right now. Otherwise, I'd still be driving Buicks.
Yes, they're so great. Gosh, they're so great. Yep.
Did you have something to add?
Well, I was going to say, what I'd like to know is, when this podcast comes out and everybody hears all about how great the Buicks are, we'd like to hear how the sales are.
Yeah.
Kemna Auto afterwards.
Yes, I will tell you. I will give you a call immediately. Because like I said, like we talked about, we're 1 in 62 miles. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah. So if you're looking for a Buick, and I always say, people, buy the vehicle you want with the experience you deserve.
Nice. I like that. That's a good one.
Yep.
All right. So do you have advice? Because we talked about, what Kemna does and your favorite vehicles and the different amenities that you have. What if somebody's they're listening to this, like, I've been looking for a new car. Maybe I'll swing into Kemna. What's your advice to them? The person that's out there listening and says, this has got me interested now. I want to buy a new car. I'm thinking about it. Maybe even buying a used car. What's your suggestions? What are your tips?
Biggest thing is any question you have, ask it.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah.
No matter how silly you think it is or whatever it may be, because it took me 6 years to buy a vehicle. And I will tell you, make sure you feel comfortable with the place you're walking into. You can read people pretty well. So when you come into Kemna, and I don't care if it's about a credit question, if you're scared, I don't have the greatest credit, I don't want to look dumb or whatever it may be, don't. Oh my gosh, I was a banker, for crying out loud. It is the easiest thing. I love analyzing credit, and so do my finance girls. They are so intelligent. Just ask the questions, because sometimes you can ask a question and my team will be like, I'm so glad they asked that, drive the car. Don't be scared to drive the car. People will come in and be like, no, I don't know if, I can get approved. Just drive it. Just, it's kind of like when you buy a shirt. If you don't try it on, it's a lot harder to love it. Mm-hmm. It's a lot harder. So you can demo anything. And also we will ask you a million questions. Just go through the door. And like I tell my team, confidence is key. Mm-hmm. And that's all you have to care about, is your own control of what you're doing and your confidence. Yeah. Just ask the question.
Ask the question. That's such a great point.
Yeah.
I mean, like, makes me think about all the times that I bought something and I didn't ask enough questions, and I kind of, I don't want to say like regretted it later, but I was like, I wish I would have asked this before.
Yes.
It's most of the time it's not a big deal, but again, if you're making a car purchase, I don't really care how much money anybody makes. This is a big purchase.
Yes.
It's a big purchase.
Yes. So. And and that's when you also walk through the door. So I've been to many of dealerships in my life, before I even worked at a dealership and looked for cars. But if your sales professional is also not investing in you and they just are like doing what you say, that's even harder. Like our sales team, they will ask you many of questions. They will look at the window sticker on a new vehicle with you. Is it equipped how you want it? What do you need in a vehicle? What do you use your vehicle for? So like when I bought a car, don't laugh. I like bougie things, I liked to feel good in my car. And so you just got to know the person, hospitality. Do you know them? Yeah. So ask the people the questions.
Yeah. I like that though.
Walk in.
There's nothing wrong with, wanting to have a nice car, you got the Buick anyways. It's luxury through and through.
Yeah. I mean, I go to restaurants and just order water. So go and ask questions.
That's true. What if somebody says, this job sounds really interesting? Maybe I want to work at a dealership like this. I like the family atmosphere. I like what you're talking about here with the hospitality. What advice would you give to somebody that's looking to maybe pursue a career in the auto industry in some capacity?
Absolutely. Auto industry is something that I think I wish more people knew about as far as a career goes. Because, if you're interested in cars, like a lot of people who are in the car industry, they like cars. And that's why they're there, right? Mm-hmm. Well, I don't like cars, okay? I did not like cars in this industry. So it's not really about that. It's about, do you challenge yourself? Okay? So my biggest thing when it comes to that is I had to get out of my own mindset. So can you challenge yourself to let somebody lead you to make sure that you grow? So I tell my team that every day, challenge yourself. In a sporting event, if you're not good enough, what do you tell yourself? You challenge yourself. Mm-hmm. So I tell my team that every day, challenge yourself for the next step. Do you know products? So if you're like, gosh, I really think this would be so fun and I would get to demo all these cars and I want to be in the car industry, do it. Challenge yourself. What is it going to hurt?
Yeah, nothing.
Nothing.
Step outside of your comfort zone. It's the only way to grow.
Yes.
Very, very true.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Just challenge yourself. Just do it.
I can see why Carrie asked you to be in charge of sales.
Well,
it was a good choice.
Well, thank you.
So we're getting close to the end of this. Is there anything we haven't covered in this yet that you're thinking is like, oh, this is a hot button topic, we should probably bridge this one?
The biggest thing is community involvement. And I, for the longest time, Carrie was always a word of mouth person. Back in the day, it was a handshake to buy a car. You know what I mean? Yeah. We all have those, he started, from his grandpa and Carrie, if you've never met the man, I recommend just shaking his hand and saying hi to him. He is just like us. He's just a really nice gentleman. But if I could just sit here and tell anybody, it's community and we all strive to stay local. If that's one thing I could do is even if you found a dream car in Des Moines or Iowa City or wherever it may be, Nebraska, just call Kemna and say, hey, I'm going to be honest. You don't have the car that I want, but I see it on a website. Could you help me? Because there's people that are like, nope, I found it. I want it now. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, as we learn at a young age, patience is key. Mm-hmm. Patience is key.
Yes.
So if I could say anything is with anything with Kemna is we love the community. We love to stay local and we will support anything that we can. Anything that we can.
You brought up a good point with the out of location car. Like, let's say you said, like, oh, this is in Omaha and I want this car or whatever. It might actually save you in the long run, not having to drive all the way down there, rent a truck or whatever it has to be to get the thing back to here, to just have another dealership do it for you. Because you guys, again, have the amenities that we might not have. We're getting close to the end of this podcast, and I usually ask everybody the same question at the end of every episode. Is there a time in your life where marketing has impacted you and you might not have known it until after it was all over?
Oh, man. Just in general?
In general. It could be anything. Could be with a car. I know you took your time buying a car. You said 6 years. So maybe that one wasn't one that just took off and got you. But
it's just everywhere. It's everywhere. And people just assume it's there. Like, personally, I like cups and things like that. So like when the new things I want, if a picture is pretty and it looks nice and the advertising's nice, it looks good, but it's never, I guess the impact side of me is I'm not a huge impulsive buyer like I used to be. I
think you brought up something in there. Honestly though, like I've talked about it a little bit in other podcast episodes, but it was, if somebody advertises something or markets something and it's something you want, you don't necessarily look at it like marketing. It's like, oh, the new thing I want or I need is out now and I'm going to go get it.
Yeah.
But if it's something you don't want, you're kind of just like, I don't know, that's marketing and it didn't work for me.
Yeah.
But like the best marketing I always thought is just letting somebody know that this thing that they actually might either need or want is there and available for them. Because if you didn't tell them, they don't know.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things marketing. When I loaded this question up into here in every podcast, I always think about that because there's so many times where I've bought something and I didn't really think about wanting it until they showed me. I'm like, oh, yeah. The new iPhone's out and I actually do need a new phone. And I never really thought about it until I saw, I'll just get the new one then.
Yeah.
So it's kind of stuff like that.
I guess there was one, those nonstick pans that you take the handle off Have you seen those? Okay.
No.
Have you seen them?
Yes.
Okay, they're both ladies are shaking their heads. Yes. So
I'm writing it down.
Yeah, I saw it on a commercial, like not like I don't know if it was like a TikTok or Amazon or something. Anyways, and I was like, oh, those are cool. And my husband listened, and he bought them, and so they're cool. They don't have a handle. They're not made with a handle. You get to attach the handle and wherever you want. And so I guess that would be my biggest thing I've seen that I've been like, I want that. That is a thing. So on personal level, but yeah.
It's been interesting at every podcast when he asked this question, the variety and how people really have to think about it, which is exactly what marketing is all about, is having you purchase whatever it is, but not thinking about that that's something that you wanted to purchase. It's
Right.
convincing you in some way that this is the product for you, or this is the service for you, or this is the car for you, whatever it may be.
And that's so true. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. This has been a great episode. I'm glad you came in and sat down and talked with us, Kim.
me too.
Do you go by Kimberly or Kim, I guess I should ask?
It's okay. So
You said Kimmy earlier.
yeah, so people at work call me Kimmy. I actually do not go by Kim. I don't like Kim.
All right.
Hey,
So
well, we know that now.
Yep, at work they call me Kim just to get under my skin.
boo.
Oh yeah. So-
It really is like a family, isn't it?
Really, whenever I hear Kim, like Carrie or even Bob, the GM and owner, and my team, they'll be like, "Hey Kim," and I'm like, "I don't think a Kim works here. Do you guys like? Have you met a Kim here in Fort Dodge? But we have a Kim in Algona, so I'll be like, she's in Algona today.
Good for you.
Yeah,
Oh, I
so
love
it's
it.
fun.
This is a great episode. I'm glad you
I
had time to sit
appreciate
down
it.
and talk with us. And, as we're recording this, a storm's a brewing. So I'm sure you
know.
got some more work to go back to the dealership and protect them cars. So.
Oh, it's fun. We have I'm gonna guess 15 on our showroom, maybe more right now. It was fun.
wow.
Yeah, we'll probably post a video on our Facebook. So if you when
See
you
everybody
see it,
moving them
oh
in.
my gosh,
It's a lot of work.
I'm not excited.
Snow removal, all that kind of
Oh,
stuff.
yeah,
It's a lot of
snow
work.
removal.
It is. Snow days are some of my favorite days. I get to wear comfy clothes.
On there.
Put your bibs on.
Oh, man. Snow removal just made me think of, I learned this at a car dealership, and it's maybe something that it's not really something I was trying to learn, but I was watching people clear snow off cars at a car dealership. And you have snow pushers.
Yes.
And that was something I was like, where have these been my entire life? Because I'm using the little fan
Fan
thing,
thing.
and it's just getting all over the place. When I first saw a pusher, I was like, I got to get one of these things.
That was marketing.
Yeah.
Yes. that was
marketing right there.
Didn't know I needed one
Oh
until I
my
saw you guys
gosh.
using them.
That is so funny.
It made sense when you got to clear off 50 to 100 cars or whatever it is. It's like, yeah, okay, it might be a little bit easier to push the snow off than it would be to just kind of sweep it off.
Oh my gosh, so true.
Well, we always like our guests to rub
Okay.
Buster, the Bulldog's head for good luck, and we're hoping that it's good luck today that the weather holds off for you.
Yeah.
So if you want to give him,
Yeah.
there
So
you go.
Tell me what behind this.
Well, actually, it was last year, a former job where I was at. I found out after years of being there that I was called the Bulldog because I pushed and fought for anything that we could get that we needed for the community or whatever it may be. Had no idea for years. And these came from my colleagues that I worked with in management. So lo and behold, our producer here found a Bulldog. And so last year our theme was Buster the Bulldog, and we Bulldog for you for your digital marketing.
Absolutely.
Well, that is so
He sits
cute.
here with us now, and
His name's Buster.
Buster.
Yep. He's
Buster
the
Bulldog.
namesake for
Yes.
our yearly or annual event that we do
Yes,
are
in
having,
June.
So
Oh, cool.
pretty cool.
close the block down and have Buster's Bash.
That is so cool.
And kids,
Wow.
it's all family oriented. Different clients, different people in the community come and set up, and all we ask is bring a kids game or do something with the kids. Color, hand out snow cones,
There's like
whatever it may be.
sidewalk chalk, all sorts of
just
stuff
all
going
kinds
on.
of things, and we close off the whole block and the parking lot, and
Live music,
Awesome.
minnow races,
minnow races. Yes,
food trucks.
Really?
Yeah, it's a blast.
Yeah.
It sure is.
That's in June.
That's June 12th.
Okay.
Are you interested?
That's cool. Yeah, you should. Yeah, just
Sure.
let me know. That's really cool because we actually do this thing in July. It's called Christmas in July that we started. So we do that annually now too. So you just made me think of that, and it's the 12th of July.
Okay. Well,
Cool.
so yeah, we'll send you some information on it. And again, we
is
don't
so
charge. It's free. We have music. We have all kinds of things going on, and people come down and for 3-4 hours and enjoy themselves.
That is so fun. Very cool. That's a very cool thing.
Yes, this will be good. This will be good. So, Kimberly, thank you very much again for joining us. I really appreciate it. Best of luck putting the rest of them cars inside.
I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for having me.
We gave you good luck right today.
Yes, you did. Yes. Well, I appreciate you both very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. This podcast is produced by Spin Market and Digital. Located in Fort Dodge, Iowa, Spin Market's highly skilled team can help you increase your market by updating your website, improving SEO, designing advertisements, and producing podcasts that will grab the attention of your market. Contact Spin Market today for all your digital marketing needs at digitalagent@spinmarketwith2ks.com or call us at 515-302-8026. And to learn more, visit our website at www.spinmarketwith2ks.com. That's digitalagent@spinmarketwith2ks.com or 515-302-8026. Or visit our website at www.spinmarketwith2ks.com.